Welcome student. In BSc second, same third, we are going to see about unit 6. Actually unit 6 contain two bits, part A liquid state and part B electrochemistry. Now today we are going to start part A, that is liquid state. All of us know that this liquid state, it contains phase between the solid and liquid. In solid, the atoms or constituents, molecules or particles are compactly arranged. But in case of gas, these constituents are free and they are far away from each other. But in liquid state, the constituents are arranged in condensed phase and in between solid phase and gas phase. But in liquid, there is a motion of the constituent atoms or ions, and these atoms and ions or molecules or the constituents in the liquid phase, they shows some properties also, and these properties are due to the intermolecular force among them. Now the characteristics properties of the liquid arises from the nature and the magnitude of intermolecular forces among the constituents of the liquid. Now first property of such a liquid state is surface tension. Today we have to see what is meant by surface tension and how it is determined and its determination means आज अपने को देखना है कि सरफेस टेंशन मीन्स व्हाट, उसमें उसके डेफिनेशन, उसके MKS CGS यूनिट्स एंड हाउ द सरफेस टेंशन इज डिटरमाइंड बाय अ ड्रॉप नंबर मेथड. दिस surface tension determination of method is also known as a drop pipette method. Now see first of all surface tension. What is the definition of surface tension? The surface tension can be defined as it is the force acting on the surface of the liquid or force acting on the surface at a right angle 1 meter interior of the surface. That force in dyne or in Newton acting on the surface at a 1 meter apart, this force is called as a surface tension. Now the unit of the surface tension, that is MKS unit of the surface tension is Newton per meter and CGS unit is dyne per centimeter. Again there is a relationship between these two, that is 1 dyne per centimeter is equals to 10 raised to power minus 3 Newton per meter. Further, you know, if liquid is taken in a vessel or in a beaker or in any container, then you know, except mercury, all other liquids when taken in a container, then there is a intermolecular force of attraction among these constituent atoms or ions of the liquid, and this upper surface looks like some concave, and this upper surface looks like concave, and there is a tension on the surface of the liquid, and this tension on the surface of the liquid is called as surface tension. Now why it is so? Let me consider a molecule of the type A. Let me assume this is a molecule A. This molecule A is in the interior of the liquid. On this molecule A, equal and opposite forces are acting in all direction. That's why this molecule A is in the liquid interior of the liquid. No doubt the molecules at the surface means these molecules. Consider a molecule B. These molecules are present at the surface of the liquid. Now this molecule B experiences force due to the air above this layer or surface, and the inward pulling due to these molecules of the same liquid. And no doubt this inward pulling or inward force is more as compared to the force of attraction due to air. That's why this upper layer get contracted and the surface area get minimized. This contraction of the molecules of the liquid at the surface, and there is a tension on this surface. This is nothing but a surface tension. Again, you know why the drop of liquid is a spherical. The drop of the liquid, if a drop of liquid is taken, it will be in a such a way, it is a spherical in a shape. Why it is so? It is due to the surface tension, and this spherical shape reduces the surface area of that drop of the liquid. In this way, this is about the surface tension. Now see, determination of surface tension of the liquid. This surface tension of the liquid is determined with the help of a glass apparatus, and this glass apparatus is known as stalagmometer, and this method is also known as drop pipette method. Which method? Drop pipette method or drop number method. Drop number method. The apparatus used is a stalagmometer. This stalagmometer is made up from glass. In a such a way, there is a glass bulb, and below this there is a capillary of this glass. Here there is a capillary of the glass, and this stalagmometer below this there is a mark B, and above this there is a mark A, and this stalagmometer is attached to a vertical stand. This is apparatus used for the determination of surface tension. Now, in order to determine the surface tension, the experimental liquid is taken, of which we have to determine the surface tension. The experimental liquid, and we have to determine the surface tension. No doubt this surface tension is denoted by letter gamma. Let me assume we have to find out the gamma 2, that is the surface tension of experimental liquid. Now, in order to determine the surface tension of this experimental liquid, we have to use another liquid. That liquid is called as a reference liquid, and reference liquid is water. And from theoretical value or from literature value, its surface tension at a particular temperature gamma 1 is known to you. We have to determine the surface tension of this experimental liquid, that is gamma 2. Now, first of all, a definite amount of water is taken in a beaker. After taking in a beaker, this water is kept here. After taking this beaker here, and this stalagmometer is dipped in this beaker, and here there is a glass tube here with a pin. Now this water is allowed to suck in this stalagmometer, above this mark, and the number of drops are measured to flow this water from mark A to mark B. The number of drops falling down from this lower end are measured. Let be assume the number of drops of water are N1. Then remove it, then dry it, then take another liquid, that is experimental liquid, in a beaker, kept it at the bottom of this sterignometer, allowed to suck. Same amount of liquid, that is experimental liquid, is sucked as that of the water from this mark B to mark A. Again the unknown liquid, experimental liquid, is allowed to flow from mark A to mark B, and again the number of drops here falling down are measured for the experimental liquid. Let the number of drops of experimental liquid are N2. Means you know three values up to this: surface tension of the reference liquid water, that is gamma 1, number of drops of water for falling water from mark A to mark B, then number of drops for experimental liquid for same amount of volume, that is falling experimental liquid from mark A to mark B. Later on, you know this drop here at the bottom of the capillary, there is a drop, and this drop of the liquid is in a position to fall down. This is the drop. Now when this drop is in a position to fall down, at that time the weight of that drop is balanced by the force due to the surface tension. How it is balanced? The weight of drop is equals to the surface tension, or force due to surface tension, But here this is the capillary. This capillary has a radius R. What is its radius? R. Then its circumference of this capillary becomes twice pi R. Why it is twice pi R? Because its radius is R. Now the surface tension acts along the circumference. That's why the circumference is considered here. Now after this, the weight of drop, if small m is the mass and g is the gravitational constant, then m into g is the weight of drop. Then what is the value of force due to surface tension? You know, if gamma is the surface tension and circumference of that capillary is twice pi r, then the force due to surface tension becomes twice pi r into gamma. If gamma is the surface tension of that drop of liquid. Now apply this formula for both experimental liquid as well as for water. Now for water, this formula becomes m into g is equals to twice pi r into gamma 1. What is gamma 1? Gamma 1 is the surface tension of a water. Now again you know that this mass is nothing but a density into volume, because you know density d equals to mass per unit volume. That's why mass is equals to V into d. Now put again these values for mass m, it will be, for water it will be V1 into d1 into g, that is equals to twice pi r into gamma 1, where V1 is the volume of water, d1 is the density, and gamma is the surface tension of the water. Now after this, same formula, that is mass into gravity, that is weight of drop is equals to force into surface tension for our experimental liquid, or for the liquid of which we have to determine the surface tension for experimental liquid. Again same formula, weight of drop is equals to force due to surface tension. Again weight equals to mass of that drop of liquid into gravitational constant. Again force due to surface tension means circumference into its surface tension. Now again mass is nothing but volume into density. Let it be volume of experimental liquid will be V2 and density becomes D2. That's why it becomes twice pi r into gamma 2. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. But previously we measure the number of drops of water and number of drops of experimental liquid. That's why multiply equation 1 by n1 and 2 by n2. What happens? Equation 1 multiplied by n1, then it will be n1 v1 into d1 g is equals to twice pi r n1 into gamma 1. Now equation 2 becomes multiply by n2 v2 into d2 into g is equals to twice pi r n2 into gamma 2. But you know that n1 v1 is equals to n2 v2, that is equals to v. This v is nothing but the volume of liquid which is flowing from mark A to mark B, and that's why this volume of liquid for water is exactly equals to the volume of experimental liquid. That's why n1 v1 is equals to n2 v2, that is equals to v. That's why the above equation becomes, what happens? V d1 g is equals to twice pi r n1 gamma 1 v into d2 g, that is equals to twice pi r n2 gamma 2. Now this is equation 3, this is equation 4. Now divide equation 4 by equation 3. If we divide this equation 4 by equation 3, then what happens? If we divide the equation 3 by equation 4, equation 4 by equation 3, then v d2g upon v d1g, that is equals to twice pi r n2 gamma 2 upon twice pi r n1 gamma 2. Twice pi r get cancelled, then v get cancelled, g get cancelled, that is gamma 2 n2 gamma 2 upon n1 gamma 1 is equals to d2 upon d1, that is gamma 2 upon gamma 1 is equals to n1 d2 upon n2 d1, cross multiplication, and this gamma 2 upon gamma 1 is called as a relative surface tension. Which surface tension? Relative surface tension. In this way, relative surface tension can be determined if you know n1, n2, d1, d2, or also gamma 2 equals to n1 d2 upon n2 d1 into gamma 1. Means if you know all these values, you are able to find out gamma 2. Now how densities are measured? Densities are measured by with the help of a density bottle. Density bottle is taken empty, its weight along with the lid is measured. Initially in the density bottle water is taken, its weight is taken, but weight of water with density bottle minus weight of empty density bottle gives the weight of water. Means this density in terms of mass is determined for same density bottle. If you know these densities d1 and d2 in terms of mass, put these values, n1, n2 and gamma 1 is known. In this way, surface tension of the liquid can be determined with the help of stalagnometer.